G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 12 of my Drain Essence Apostate playthrough with Manfred here. So last episode we more or less made it up to the city of Malmouth. We did a little bit of running around in Elite as well, and I did not go back to Elite and get all of the Act 1 shrines, so the ones you saw me pick up in the last episode will do, and I will finish getting my 55 shrines in the Act 1 of Ultimate. You can absolutely go and get 8 more shrines in Act 1 Elite, and then there's some early ones in Act 2 as well if you want to pick those up. Earlier power is, I guess, always good. I'm going to leave them though, so up to you if you want to do it. And for now, we have a Steelcap district to retake. In between episodes, I did swap this helmet over, so I've lost 6% physical resistance. But I've picked up +3 to Inquisitor's Seal, +3 to Word of Renewal, that's from the Interrogator's prefix, and then some elemental damage to Inquisitor's Seal, which, because of the Marker of Nacrathan, we actually convert at least, well, not at least, we convert exactly 1/3 of that extra elemental damage to Aether. So it does indeed increase the damage from swapping this over. And the extra skill points also increase the damage because, well, extra skill points in the skill. So this is where I'm kind of up to now. I know I'm not great at... Did I have this on one of the Aether weapons? Did I just not bind this? That is definitely possible as well. Alright. I think I need to get myself another permanent buff. And I don't think there's one that's easily available. We'll check it on Harbinger of Souls later. I swear this was triggering last episode. It must have been on something weird. Or maybe maybe it was taken off of something. I don't know. I swear I saw it triggering, but I could have been wrong. I could have been completely wrong. Actually, hang on. It's got XP, right? Yeah, level 6, so it had to have been bound to something. It must have fallen off when I... swapped a piece of gear around or something like that. Maybe I took a weapon on and off and it was tied to... I think I just did it again. No. Okay, so it's tied to my shield. I'm sure I'm going to forget about that again. Once again, I don't need this dense fur here at the moment, but I don't have a huge amount of other things that I would like to put there, so even though, yes, it is definitely inefficient, I absolutely should swap it out, probably for a scaled hide and then 2 ancient armor plates on the chest. But I'm just going to leave it for now, because at some point I am definitely going to want something there, and it doesn't really matter for now. Alright, so it's time to reclaim the Steelcap district. And basically I'm just going to hold right-click down here. The reflected damage is just not that bad. Can even push some of the do more damage buttons there. And what do we get? Maraband for pets. Stormcaller's effigy for lightning stuff. Shell shock epaulettes, which I'm not sure how to pronounce that one either. It's if you say it how it's written, it's epaulettes, but that doesn't sound like a word to me. Anyway, I could be wrong. That's fine. Alright, we're going to breach the gates. We have agreed, we've got some scrap. We'll pick up all the quests here. Including from Captain Wilfor again, and do we have a merchant yet? No, okay, that's fine. There's only a little bit of rubbish in my inventory. I do want to put this helmet on as well. Initially, I was going to say that I was using this one for the extra armor, but I don't think it actually has all that much extra armor. This one definitely will at 55 though. So let's get into the city here, and there's going to be a ton of ethereals. Depending on how you feel about your level, you can either skip a lot of them, or you can go through and kill all of them. It really is up to you. There is a decent amount of XP available in the city, and there... Oh, Aether Crystal. Nope, stay on target. You can get a lot of XP from in this city, but you can also get probably about 3/4 of the XP just from the quest XP. So depending on how much of a hurry you're in to get through to max level, you may want to skip a lot of these fights. there's nothing here at this point that should be able to threaten you. You probably do want to kill the mages, though, just in case. So I'm going to flip-flop back and forth between kill everybody and skip all this. I don't need the XP. And realistically, it doesn't really matter. If you're doing similar sorts of, or similar amounts of killing everything that I am, then you'll probably finish the ultimate campaign somewhere around level 90, maybe 92, something like that. And, I mean, that's just kind of fine. Doesn't matter if you're level 94, 100, or even level 80 when you finish the ultimate campaign. You're still going to have stuff to do. You're still going to have reputations to grind, all that sort of stuff. Alright, I think I'm standing in the Inquisitor seal there. Yeah, I've got the buff on me, so... barrier's gone. Beautiful. So I'm going to take out this crystal. Then we'll come in here and we'll talk to Nico's girl. Is it Nico? It's Richter. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry about that. We're going to stuff her into a rift. And then Richter, who I thought was Nico. I think Nico might be the guy from the Candle District. Anyway, we're going to tell him that we can send him back to the base. But he's just... my time has come. I'm okay with that. So, like, alright. He's just going to die in the street. Could have died back at the base with, you know, his girlfriend, wife, whoever that was, Vivian. But no, he's gonna die in the street all by himself. Which I guess is one of the choices he could have made. Definitely don't agree with it, but whatever. Alright. So this here is potentially one of the most dangerous corners in Malmouth, because old mate here, Fleshweaver Haraxis, spawns with friends, and then the abandoned weapons here spawn with friends, and then potentially you're getting multiple groups of mages come pouring out of this building. Probably a good point here actually is that the mages in here, I definitely remember there being more. I may be remembering like Ultimate with Nemesis, but there's a decent number of mages in here who you can absolutely kill and maybe get a weapon if you don't already have one. Oh look, more mages. Frostborn of Frost something. Alright, and then we just kind of pop out where we would have been anyway. We push all of the do more damage buttons. And everyone just kind of dies, which is nice. Okay, I do know, since I've already killed Fleshweaver Haraxis, that this is just a free dynamite. Because he can spawn here, but obviously I've already killed him, so he's not going to. That's an 8th missile proc. Has 1 resistance. I think I want the +1 to necro skills more. And at some point I'm going to run over to the Port Valbury, do a run through there and just grab a belt of Egrad as well, because I do want the damage conversion from it. At some point. I'm not in a hurry, though. Having said that, I did consider doing it this episode, but I think we'll leave it for a little bit longer. Which is fine. What was that? Blue boots. These aren't horrible. They're not amazing, but they're not horrible either. Good armor, good chunk of health, offensive ability, a little bit less move speed. Would lose Aether resistance, so no, but they're not horrible. Alright, let's keep on keeping on here. We've got to go rescue Hiram because he has the blueprint for the Mortality Relic. At least I'm pretty sure he does. And I definitely want that. I will be losing 5%. Is it 5% or 8% now? I forget. I'll be losing all these stats, basically. It is still 5%, which is fine. Alright, we got some loot hidden in the walls here, or I guess not really so much in the walls. Where is it? Here it is. Free loot is always something that I'm interested in. That one is one of the better hidden hidden caches or hidden bodies. I pretty much never would have found that, I don't think, without the Grim Tools map. So shout out to Dammit for making the Grim Tools stuff. And yes, that is the name that he's chosen to use. So one of the best tools I've seen outside of maybe, what's the Path of Exile one called? PoE Builder? I don't know, it's been a while. Actually, you know what? It is... I don't even have it installed anymore. How about that? Never thought I would see the day. That's Path of Building, that's what it is. Jeez, it's been way too long. Should have another look at Path of Exile. I know they had a new league. Is it a week or a month ago, something like that? Definitely haven't looked at it since before PoE 2 beta started. And weren't there some salty people when that launched? Alright, I am going to drop a rift right here, and we're going to move up. What do I have that's launching Aether missiles? It's Aether Lightning. Huh. Don't know. Anyway, that's fine. We've got more ethereals to kill. We've got a door to blow open. And I think I'm probably going to kill Theodin this episode. I'm not expecting any great difficulty from him. Alright, so I like to, like I said, drop a rift back there. Run up here to get this rift gate. And then there's some stuff over here that I want to get my hands on. Now, the Vivian... Is it Vivian? I think it's Vivian. Her quest... I think you need reputation for that, right? Maybe not, because it's Black Iron Docks, and then... Here's Vivian. No, it's Evonda. Why was I thinking Vivian? Not sure. I'm just mad. Alright, so let's do the Evonda quest. I don't usually do this quest, but why not? We'll go find her note, and then we'll rob her blind and get her reward anyway. Alright, I'm also going to turn this in, use them well. What happened? I'll look for them. Okay. And we are fairly close to that. Alright, so if we head out here, we've got Evonda's chest right here. Didn't see that before, did you? So here is Evonda's note. You can read it, and it'll tell you where to go. And then what you do is you go and do the quest that you're standing here to do, because it's a long run and you don't want to do it twice. Talking to myself here. Basically, you go open the door, but you don't actually go in. And then you go talk to Evonda, give her her little note back, and she'll be very, very happy. Okay, stuff him into a rift as well. Alright, so we're going to run backwards here, or forwards, depending on which way you want to look at it, depending on which way you want to go. Alright, there's level 55. New hat time. Go ahead and chuck that on. I'll chuck an ectoplasm on. What do we got here? 50. I'm almost certainly not going to use that, so we'll toss that. That I am going to keep. The rest of this I'm going to keep. That Explorer's set, I've been hauling that around for a very long time. And I have a feeling I'm probably not going to use it for a whole lot. So I'm going to run forwards and get to Evonda's stash. Now she has stashed it in a very inconvenient place. So it is actually much more convenient if you just grab her note from that chest there and then go give it to her, and you'll get an Exalted stash, effectively, next time you're in town. But this way you can get both. So just here, this is where we are on the map. This entrance here is entirely for this quest. If you're not on this quest, you will never find this, and you'll just run in here. There'll be a whole bunch of ghosts and undead and stuff to fight, and you'll be left wondering, why on earth is this here? Turns out, you can click on this eventually, and you get this door open. Where is it? Next one? Yeah, here it is. No, it's not. was down here, right? Hello? Door? Here it is. Okay. Barking up the wrong tree. As long as you don't go in there, you can go back to the Steelcap district, and you can run up here and talk to Evander. And she's going to be super happy when you give her the note. And you'll get reputation. You can say, oh, it's directions. Directions to what I lost. What did I lose? She doesn't know. Well, I know, and I'm going to go and rob her blind. But she'll forget about that. And then she'll give us a reward for the quest next time we come back to town. So here we go. Go into the crypt now. We've already completed the quest the other way. And now we come in here and we've got 1, 2... I would have swore there was something over there, but apparently not. 3, 4, 5 chests. Do I hear 6? Mage Storm. Okay, nope. 6 chests. There we go. So 6 chests, and all we have to do is kind of feel a little bit bad about robbing the Forgetful Lady. Let me have a look in here. I don't think there's any hidden loot in here. Yeah, that'll be fine. So there we go. We got the loot, we got to have our cake, and now let's go and eat it as well. So because I already turned this in, we are going to come up here, and we will find ourselves Evander's gift. There we go. So guaranteed blue or better item out of this because it's basically an Exalted stash. Nothing good, unfortunately, out of either of those, which I guess is fair enough. We did kind of lie, cheat, and steal, so I think that's probably fair. Alright, and we can just sell all of this at this point. Level 55 doesn't really get us any new toys to think about, so we can just vendor all of this. You there? You are a Mystic of the Aether. Now, it says it's plus DPS. Just go ahead and ignore that. You kind of have to look at the stats here. I would lose health, I would gain spirit, I would have the same amount of chaos resistance, I would lose attack speed. This is honestly a very, 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 very minuscule, tiny increase in damage. And I'm just not going to bother. Warped is flat 8th damage, so no, and Scorching is the fire stuff, so again, no thank you very much. So we didn't really get anything good out of that, but like I said, we kind of did the dishonorable thing here, so can't complain too much about that. Physique up to 30, and then Necromancer, just more points in the bar. I think I got a level at the end of the last episode, so just in case I spent those in between, it was just in the bar. I'm paranoid about the Wayward Soul now. Okay, and we are now up to speak with Olgrim, and that's us done for quest for the moment. Right. I think we get the Black Iron Docks quest after we're done here, so let's talk to Olgrim. We will take care of the vents for sure, my friend. Actually, how are we doing for Malmouth resistance friendly? Okay, that's cool. Once I get to respected, I think we get the bounty table after... Excuse me, sorry. Pardon me, coming through. I have more important things to do. Alright, so I saw the words honored with Black Legion right then, and it's pretty important that literally the second you see that, you come and get this. Stop whatever it is you're doing, come and get this. So the writ for the Black Legion. The reason why I really, 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 really want to get to Revered for the Black Legion is they have 2 really good resistance augments. These things are amazing, and the sooner you can get them, the sooner your resistance issues just disappear. I'm not going to stay on normal difficulty and farm, what what are they called? Bounties. I'm not going to farm bounties because normal bounties give you nothing. But getting this to getting to Revered will definitely help with Ultimate. I will probably be most of the way through Ultimate before I get it, but, you know, them's the breaks. We did also just get access to all of these augments. That one looks pretty good, doesn't it? Shame it's for two-handers. This is for one-handers, which I like the look of. This is all one-handed stuff. What do we got here? This is a weapon, which is not for us. This is a belt for Night Blades. And we don't really have any rings there for us. Medals, well, I'm using the monster infrequent, so no. But also they're not particularly good. So we got a couple of augments, which is good. There we go. A little bit extra DPS. The big thing here, though, is the very last line, 5% damage to ethereals and aether corruptions, which is pretty good. Racial damage bonus. Runestone, I think, also gives that, doesn't it? Damage to ethereals, damage to aether corruptions. Yeah, so can I put ectoplasm on my shoulders? I can't, can I? Head, armor, rings, amulets, medals. No, I can't. Okay, so it's just these ones. I was thinking about runestone on here and then chuck the energy regen over here, but I don't think I can do that. That's fine. It's whatever. I mean, it's not whatever. I would definitely like to do it. Level 55 is also the point at which you can go and run into the Ancient Grove, get the Devotion Shrine there, and also buy from the weed vendor there, the weed merchant, buy from him the Prismatic Diamond component, which is probably what I'm going to do. Maybe at the end of this episode, maybe beginning of next one, but it's pretty important to get that component, in my not so very humble opinion. It's easily the best helmet enchantment, or helmet component in the game. Specifically for hardcore. For softcore, you probably don't care. Alright, seems we've temporarily figured out how stairs work and got up those ones with no issues, which is always fun. Alright, and we got a bunch of mages. Ascended Vestment is all I have to show for it. But there's a heap more here. And still no drops. That's fine. They will drop more, and I will loot it. Alright, I'm turning the loot off just so I can see what's going on. Having said that, a grand total of 1 hero came out of that totem, so it's kind of whatever. High Consular's Coat, what are we looking at here? Elemental damage, yeah, +2 to deadly aim's not bad, but yeah, no. Okay, offhand, +1 to Inquisitor, +2 to Drain Essence. Vitality to Elemental, though. So, I was going to say this looks alright, but then I saw the conversion, and it's very much not alright. Let's go ahead and bash this, and then we are going to rift back to the Crown Hill Rift. Save me a little bit of walking. I don't know where he's going. He's very interested in that that cart or whatever it was. Okay, get a little bit of loot, get an Aether Shard, can't complain about that. Wish it was a crystal, but you know. Can't always get what you want, as that song goes. Okay, vent number 2 down. We got one more vent to get. I'm hoping for... Oh no, I've already got the totem, haven't I? Yeah, so there's no other totem in here. The city of Malmouth has a grand total of 2 totems in the entire city. Unless there's one in the council area. I don't think there is, though. Pretty sure it's just 2 for the whole city. And since I can't access the council area right now, I guess I'll find out later. Okay, Ascended Conduit is not what I'm after, but I'll take it. We've got a devotion point coming up here, which is very nice. Let's go ahead and turn this on. Kill everybody all at once. Alright. Old love here, Valexteria is active. So I want to keep my eyes open for the massive meteor she's going to throw at me. There it is. You missed me. Honestly, that's the only thing you really have to worry about. The little meteors can be annoying, but it's kind of whatever. Ascendant Authority, One-Handed Scepter, Guardians of Empyrean, could be a good build. And then her robes are Aether to Lightning conversion, which means they're off limits to us. Okay, Inscribed Braces, maybe. And then the Wraithbone Sash, this is relevant only because of that 5% XP and otherwise decent stats, as well as whatever you would get for crafting them. Right, the Empowered Inscribed Braces, these were not the ones I was thinking of. I was thinking this was the Prismatic Shield proc. But these are okay. I was going to say we have Elemental to Aether Conversion, but we don't. It's Vitality to Aether Conversion. Having said that, Aether Resistance and Casting Speed, that is a lot of casting speed. And the Skill Disruption Protection is not horrible as well. I don't think I'm going to use them, but you definitely could. And what are we doing now? Okay, consult the plan. Revenant. There we go. It's time to start Revenant. Okay, Energy Leech there, and the energy absorbed from enemy spells should make it so I don't need to use the helmet components for regeneration. Though, to be fair, I could probably have been getting away with that even without the devotion point. I just need to be more proactive about using energy potions. And I guess this button also gives me a ton of free energy regeneration. Right, we can kill all of this. I see you there. Was it Nox Radarad? It's an interesting name. And we are in. Or we will be as soon as I go and bash this with my stick. There we go. Alright, the door is open. We now have access. Let's go say hi to the big bad ethereal. In we go. Alright. So things you will want here is basically Aether and Lightning resistance. I have capped everything resistance. This is always a good thing to have, but you can probably get away with having uncapped Chaos resistance at this point. You can probably get away with uncapped Vitality, but you definitely want Aether, all the elemental stuff, poison stuff, and just everything if you can get it. Definitely want to be killing these mages if you can. Anytime you find a whole bunch of them. There's an Interrogators of Frostbite. Unfortunately, it's the wrong base. That would have been really nice. Here we go, another of the wrong base. These purple ones, not so good. That was Valexteria's, never mind. I was going to say, I don't remember picking one of those up, and that's because I didn't. Alright, so we've got some hidden loot in here again, and I'm going to go get some of it. I don't think I'm going to get all of it. There's a few that are decently well off the path, but there's also a couple that are on the path, so there's no reason not to get those. That'll do. Alright, so first one is just here. Beat the wall down, you can come in here, and you've got a hidden Flesh Warp Spoils. This is the same as the hidden stashes and the hidden corpses and stuff. It's a nice little bit of loot. Also got, is it here? No, it's a little bit further down. Got this one here. Nope, this is the wrong one again. It's at the bottom of the stairs, isn't it? Come on, Paikis, you know this. You've done it many times. Here we go. Alright. I'm here now. I know I'm in the right spot now. So we run through here, and here's another hidden flesh warp spoils. 2 items, potentially, maybe, you can get blues and purples out of them. Chances are pretty slim, but it definitely does happen occasionally. Often you'll find mages here, so it's worth kind of poking your head around the corner here. Just see about them mages. And then, you know what, I will go a little bit out of my way for another hidden spoils. So, here it is. That was actually a lot closer than I remembered. I don't usually get it. I don't usually come up here to get this one. I'm usually sort of running past in a hurry. Gotta go fast, zoom, zoom, you know. Get down here. Alright, so, Fleshworks. This place is kind of twisted. Don't look at the walls, whatever you do. And don't listen to the music / ambient noises. Believe me when I say you don't want to know. I don't know, maybe you do want to know. Anyone who played old school Duke Nukem 3D has seen similar things. Alright, Aether Barrier down. Let's go say hi to Krieg again. Here he is. The K-Man. Unfortunately, I think he's actually considerably weaker here than he was in the first act. Alright, burning it down, because, I mean, obviously. And where is my loot? There it is. There should be 2 of those? Did I already click on one? Maybe I did. Maybe you only get the second one in Ultimate. Just making sure. I don't think there's anything back here, but they do hide stuff. Alright, let's have a look at what we got. Blue book, Scorch's Archive. Well, that was never going to be useful, was it? I'm going to bring Spirit up to 30 now. 30 and 30. And we've got more skill points to pump into the Necromancer bar. Mark of Torment is going to be incredibly useful. But I'll go over that when we pick it up. Cliff notes for now. You can reflect Sunder. Not great on most bosses. If you're worried about taking the Sunder, being able to reflect it doesn't make you take less damage, it just makes them take more damage. So if you're worried about the Sunder, you definitely don't want to try reflect it, you just want to avoid it. Alright, Hagelvar here is part 1 of the key to open the lock on the boss's door. So him being dead is good. I will also take this time to point out that you should remember that you can just buy resistance potions. So if you're struggling with Aether, specifically Aether, but if you're struggling with anything else, resistance potions do exist and should be used. Alright, old mate's not here, which is unfortunate. This is where I usually find him, but he's not guaranteed to be here. However, the other thing to get here is just in the wall here. You got to beat down 2 walls. And here's another hidden stash. Didn't get anything again, but, you know, you miss every shot you don't take, or however that particular saying goes. So here's Rodalgar, part number 2 for the key. He's dead, which means now I can go fight the boss. And like I said, you really want to make sure you've got your Aether resistance up, and lightning would be your second one, and then just everything. Don't forget resistance potions if you need them, and otherwise, let's just go kill him. I don't think there's anything else I really need to prepare. I honestly think we just kill him. I am actually kind of expecting to just stand in front of him and kill him. So let's give that a shot. It's pop all of the do more damage buttons. His health bar is definitely evaporating. I'm going to keep putting down more seals, because these do have timers. There he goes. I'm going to move to the next one. Alright, he's going to have friends coming from the sides here-ish. They'll show up at some point, I'm sure. Okay, and all of the damage buttons are ready to go again. And so we go again. I'm going to keep those three Inquisitors seals on the go. And I'm standing in goop and it just doesn't hurt. It just doesn't matter. Alright, phase 3. The only thing you want to do here is he's going to jump up in the air and land. And when he lands, you don't want to be standing in the goop that he's going to leave behind. I'm going to save my Inquisitor seal, so when he jumps in the air, I can evade away. Put up a new one. And push all the damage buttons. So I did say I was pretty sure I could just stand there and kill him. As it turns out, I did have to move one time. And we have the Magi's Heart of Theodin Marcell of the Aether, which is definitely one of the names of all time. Let's grab the loot. Harmonious of Attack would be good if it was on a base that had something I wanted, either conversion or plus to skills. It is what it is, though. And the loot was pretty average here. Alright, that's fine. Let's get out of here. You can't rift from straight in there. You have to actually leave. So now we can go back to the Steelcap district, turn in a bunch of stuff, and I think we get to Black Iron Docks at this point. Don't forget to talk to Rivia down here. I miss her all of the time. And free XP that I just don't get. Kind of like the free XP I'm missing out on by not using these. Okay, Wayward Soul rank 8. We've picked up Death Omen here. This is a dagger. Vitality stuff. Mark of Death is a pretty good proc. I'm definitely not going to use that. But yes, she is indeed talking about the Black Iron Docks. Alright, couple things to talk about before we go and do that. First one here is Hiram. Always buy the Aether Crystal, and go ahead and check the blueprints he has. Now, I already know some of these, because between one of the episodes, I went around and bought all of the components for all of the relics and all of the components. Sorry, I bought the blueprints for all of those from all of the different factions, because they're all good to have, and I had the bits, basically. So if you haven't done that, it's probably worth going and doing it. This ring is actually pretty good. I'm going to hang on to that one. That's a lot of resistances. Same with those gloves. I'm going to hang on to those as well. And the rest of this can go. There we go. Yes, you want to be checking Hiram's blueprints. So if we want to reset his inventory, so say I wanted to specifically hunt down the mortality blueprint. Let me bring that up on the old Grim Tools over here. Yeah, so mortality, we're looking at, actually, it says it's available for sale from the Malmouth Resistance, so I'm looking in the wrong spot. Hiram's not going to sell it, but you can get some other blueprints here. You can go through and buy them all if you want. I was thinking he had it, but no, actually it is right about, where are we? Here. Which means we need Honored. Which we're not going to get until quite later. What you can do if you want is you can farm totems in here in order to get the reputation to buy this if you want to. It is a very, very good component for us. Aether damage, offensive ability, +1 to all necro skills. And then the mortality proc itself is crit damage, Aether damage percentage. It's pretty good. It's the best option available for easily accessible +1 necromancer skills. There is obviously better available at level 60 and 90, I want to say. But this is the one that I've picked because it's targetable. It's always here. I was actually thinking I would have to find it in here, but that's fine. That's fine. Just means it's guaranteed, even if you don't necessarily have the reputation to get it. So we are up to about halfway through Respected. We can go do the Black Iron Docks, and I am going to do that, but one thing I also wanted to point out here is the Malmouth bounties here. Storm Titan's not the one I wanted. Bloodrag is also not the one I wanted. Ethereal Regurgitator's also not the one I wanted. I'm looking for Valexteria, and it looks like I'm not going to get it. Yeah, so you only get 5. I will go and do the Black Iron Docks because I've already cleared a whole bunch of this place out. Actually, I probably should reset now and then run back and get whatever Spectral Wrath kills I can, but that's fine. Just do it this way. I'm unlikely to farm Reputation until Ultimate anyway. So that's fine. We will just run over this way. Run all the way around. I should have probably come the other way, but oh, it's too late now. That's fine. I'm also going the wrong way, which doesn't help. And why is there ethereals here? That's the real question. Didn't I kill them on the way through? Apparently not. Alright, so I'm going to about here. And there's a couple different ways you can get there. One way is to just go the way I did. And the other way is to go around here. Now, if you haven't found Heraxis, the Flesh Shaper, he will be around here somewhere. Also, where am I getting those little Aether Balls from? I'm really struggling to think of anything I have that would be dropping those off. I can see them. I know it's something. But, I don't know. It's probably a piece of gear and I'm just not seeing it because, you know, it's a day that ends in Y. And so I can't see things right in front of me and I'm horrible at remembering names. That's where I want to be. Let me just have a quick look here. Just make sure I'm not missing something incredibly obvious. Okay, Mage Storm is the lightning. That doesn't have anything. That's a lightning as well. Nothing there. Okay, Arcane Blaze, there it is. Aether Missiles on the metal. Cool. I remember I had it on the belt, and I ended up taking the belt off because +1 to skills from Lunar Valgoth. But I'd forgotten about the metal. Okay, we are into the Black Iron Docks, and the mission: destroy everything. Everybody who moves gets to die. That's it. Just kill everyone. It's very simple instructions, very nuanced. No, it's not. We just murder everything to death. Which is fun. These ones actually don't count, but I'm going to kill them anyway. So you don't actually have to kill literally everything. You just have to kill the stuff that comes out of the ground here. Now, I'm going to turn the loot off here, just because I like to be able to see what's going on. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out of the ground here. And a lot of it is going to be heroes, so there will be loot all over the floor here. At least in theory, I would have expected to have seen a hero by now. There's, what, 5 or 6 waves here? Anyway, everyone's dying nicely, which is good. Also, this symbol here, which you can't see anymore because I killed him, but that blue circle with a line through it is an arcane enemy. They will give you about 5 seconds or so to kill them, however long it actually is. And then they'll throw this ball of energy at you. It'll make a huge noise, it'll be very visible, and if it hits you, it'll turn all your buffs off for, I think it's 5 seconds, which can be really, really dangerous. Alright, loose back on. Turns out I didn't get very much, but we did just finish that quest, so that's nice. And I am going to reset this and just pick up the Valexteria bounty, if it's there, and if not, well, we'll go do something else. Maybe we'll go to the Ancient Grove and get that blueprint. We're under attack. Alright, what do we got here? Blugrug, no. Ethereal Regurgitators, no. Hagelvar, no. Hinicius in the Lighthouse, no. Relic, no. Nope, okay, I'm going to try one more, then we're going to skip it. I've already got a weapon, but this bounty is good to have if you need to get a weapon, because, is it Thoraxteria? I think it is. Have I been saying Valexteria? No, it's Thoraxteria. Guaranteed drops you one of the weapons. Bolag, no. Yes, Thoraxteria, that's the one. And the places where Thoraxteria lives, I can think of 3 of them off the top of my head. So there might be a 4th one, but I'm thinking of 3, and I have farmed this guy a decent amount when I was trying to get other MIs from this. And I'll be honest, I don't actually know if he can drop the one I was farming him for. But that's fine. We'll go over here. Okay, first stop is over here on the left. We will go up some stairs onto like a first floor section just up here. And there he is. Okay, beautiful. Love to see it. Hi, Thoraxteria. Give me a weapon. Ascendant Source. That is the correct one. Mystic of Shattered Reality is Aether and Chaos stuff, I think. So, first location is here. The second, actually, you know what? I'll just show it. We'll just run over there. That's fine. I want to say there's another one up here. I think that was actually the first one, now that I'm thinking of it. All this information is available online to look up if you're that way inclined. Stay in your house over there, you. Valexteria. Actually, it doesn't matter. I need to kill you anyway. When you're fighting Valexteria as well, if you stand underneath the roof, you can occasionally get her meteor to hit the roof instead of you, just like that, and you don't have to evade. So that's something you can do. Sometimes. Just be ready to evade it anyway, because the one time you're not ready to evade, it'll miss the roof somehow and kill you. Alright, next place for Valexteria, and the third of the 3 that I'm aware of, is just up here, on top of this little platform. Probably with these mages. Pretty much here, actually. And then, I don't know if it can actually spawn over here, but I always ran over here anyway, just to check. There is a treasure trove in this area, and I want to say somewhere in this little path was one of the spawn locations. Alright, so that's the Thoraxteria bounty, and that'll get you a guaranteed mage, either, hang on, where are we? Either here, up here, or on the rooftop here. Definitely worth having this bounty active if you are farming for the weapons, and if you're having trouble finding them just here on the outskirts. If I come over here, there's a good chance of getting a hero in here. You're not guaranteed, obviously, but, you know, maybe. And then if you head up these stairs as well, there's usually a couple more mages here. So between all of that, you should be able to get a weapon. They are a little bit rare, though. Alright, next thing we want to do, and probably the last thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to head to Coven's Refuge, and then we are going to run out and talk to Mogdrogan, the god of the rovers. And he's going to give us a nice shiny skeleton key, which we're going to use to buy a component blueprint. And if you want to, you can buy a whole bunch of other things. And no, I'm not doing that quest. Alright, so if we just run out here and kind of hug the bottom. I'm going to go to the foot and see if there's an Ugden Bloom I can steal. I'm also going to kill old mate here, Rossview, and his friends, because his friends died before he did. But mostly I'm here for the Ugden Bloom. Lovely. Now we're going to head down the bottom here. Preferably not fight all this, but I may have to. Actually, you know what? That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of XP just running around there. So I'm going to kill them. Right. Necromancer. 1 point in Mark of Torment. This one is really good because, like I said, you can reflect Sunder with this. You don't get full strength Sunder from memory. Having said that, could be wrong actually. 220%. It should be reflecting full strength Sunder. Anyway, we're just going to put 1 point into it. I have too much stuff on these bars. I guess I'll put it here and probably forget to use it. Or I'll use it and fat finger an Aether Cluster at the same time and kind of waste an Aether Cluster. Having said that, I have got a few Aether Clusters, so it's probably fine. Alright, so we can see the door there. We can see the avatar of Mogdrogan. Now, one thing I will say about this little side quest here. What do you need of me? Yep, I'll deal with your problem. He's going to give us a skeleton key. And we are going to use it. But what we are not going to do is we are not going to actually fight Gargle Balls at the end. Gargle Ball, or Gargle Balls as I call him, is incredibly dangerous. Almost as dangerous as these crabs. But the crabs aren't going to one-shot you with a volcano, whereas Gargle Balls will one-shot you with a volcano. So if you're playing on softcore, go ahead and give him a shot at the end of the tunnel, at the end of the dungeon. If you're playing on hardcore, strongly recommend skipping him. Because he's probably the most dangerous boss in the campaign. Am I going to say that? I think I am going to say that, yeah. Let's say strongest non-celestial boss. Let's put it that way. Alright, got another devotion point. Love to see it. I'll take some more health and less damage taken from undead. You there, hopefully you have eyes. None of your friends seem to. Did indeed have eyes. Love to see that. Alright, and we are pretty much done on this floor. I've got the devotion shrine, and that's it. That's all I needed. I've missed a few Ugden Blooms along the way. Which, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and take these guys out. There is some loot in the wall just over to my left. You probably saw it flashing a second ago. I'm going to go ahead and grab it in a second here. So you can see, where is it? There's the door. And free loot. Lovely. Like I said, though, we are done on this particular floor. We do have to fight, is it Ragrathar? I forget the guy's name, the manticore in front of the door. We do have to fight that. And I'm just coming up here for the... Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Oh, it's a trap. Bugger. Maybe one of you guys will drop me one. Nope. Alright, fine. We'll do it this way. Ugden Bog Golem. Nope. Unfortunately, didn't drop me an Ugden Bloom. Oh well, such is life. So we're going to run through here. And you can pretty much go where I went and you'll be fine. This guy is effectively Mogara Mark II, so watch his tail for that Sunder, dodge it, and then just beam him down. Manticore Eye again. This has been a very lucrative trip. Alright, I'm going to need the blueprint, and from this point, if you don't have room in your inventory, now is a good time to go and make it, because once you open this door, it's going to consume the skeleton key. And once you go in and through down to the next level, you can't leave without either exiting to the menu or dying. Or, I mean, technically you could kill Gargle Balls. That is also an option. It's very unlikely, though. is quite dangerous. We are not super powerful at level 57. I am definitely not going to go fight Gargoyles. Alright, what do we got? We got Vengeful, so they get retaliation and extra damage. 8% reduced target's damage for 1 second, so they are going to reduce my damage when they hit me. And then they are also regenerating, which is kind of annoying. But it is what it is. So we run through here, grab this rotting stump. Probably want to make sure you're standing in the Inquisitor's Seal before you fight anything in here. And make sure that you're clearing enough stuff that when you come back this way, because you may have to reset the merchant, that you're not going to die. A couple of Manticore eyes there, very nice. How many did I get out of this? 4 already, wow. Okay, I'm pretty happy about that. Alright, we're getting Chaos infected, or Chaos corrupted beasts now. Which is, I mean, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just how it is. Alright, and here is Vinylton, all natural wares. He is a weed dealer. So let's see what he's got. I'm going to be checking a few things here. Now, obviously, we've got the soldier belts, we've got the Inquisitor belts that we can't use. Please don't use this, it will absolutely tank your damage. That's really annoying. Alright, I'm just going to drag this away a little bit. Should follow me, at least a little bit. Or maybe it's following the Inquisitor Seal at the moment. This thing is similar to the Aether Tornadoes in Port Valbury. Yeah, it's moving now. You can see it's kind of slowly making its way down here. It's incredibly annoying. Whatever, I'll just do it. Yeah, so please don't use these. I do want to have a look at the rings, specifically the Vine rings, but honestly, all of these would be fine if they have good resistances, like this one, Piercing, Poison, and Vitality. That is a lot of good resistances. Word of Agony is AoE on Word of Pain, so this could be good. 60,000, I think I'm going to buy that, and then I'll worry about where it fits into the build later. That's really frustrating. Okay, and none of the others are any good. Alright, so we're looking for Prismatic Diamond. Now this is usually, but not always, available the first time you come here. So I'm going to buy this, and let's just have a look here. Ugden Salve is good to have. Elixir of the Drangle is also good to have. And none of the rest of this looks like it's particularly useful. So if you didn't find your Prismatic Diamond, what you need to do is retrace your steps back. Kill anything you left behind the first time. So maybe I left a couple of bugs behind. If they don't attack me, I don't care. If they do attack you, obviously kill them. You want to go back to this door, go through the door, and then do your usual sort of resetting the merchant dance. You want to run around in a circle. You want to start with anti-clockwise, go around 3 times, stop at the south side, and then reverse. So 1, 2, 3, and then run all the way to the north. Realize that this was a waste of time, and just go back in. Basically, you just want to wait for about 10 seconds. You don't have to do all that running around. That was just me filling time. Then we run back, and I'll have a whole bunch of new stuff there, which I don't need because I've already got the component that I wanted. That was the entire reason we were here. So why are you still here? Go away. Alright, new blueprints here. Prismatic Diamond, you can see I've already learned it. Badge of Mastery. Yeah, there's some repeats here, for sure. And let's just have a look at the rings. Mighty of Ruin, Warped of Readiness. Yeah, nothing here. That's fine. I wasn't expecting to get a ring at all. Alright, that will probably do us here. Let's just exit to the menu. We can come back in. So Ashes of Malmouth is now completed. We've got our new helmet component to craft. I'm just going to go ahead and craft that, but that is going to be all of the content for this particular episode. And if you want to watch me craft it, then stick around, but otherwise that'll be it. So from memory, it's a Radiant Gem, which is going to be a Dense Fur, a Molten Skin, and a Rigid, is it? Yeah, Shell. There we go. And then we call it a T-Gem, Radiant Gem. And let's have a look here. What else do we need? Prismatic Diamond. We also need a Wrathstone. Well, that one's easy enough. And then we also needed Arcane Spark, wasn't it? This is one that I already picked up when I went around to all of the faction vendors and bought all of their blueprints. This one, I believe, is Black Legion. Go ahead and tell me I'm wrong in the comments below if I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. And now we have the best hardcore helmet component in the game. This is a circuit breaker. When your health gets low, this will activate. It will give you 130 damage absorption, which doesn't sound like much, but similar to the Inquisitor Seal is a stronger version. So this one is 313 damage absorption. This one is another 130. This one also gives you some damage and some total speed, which is nice, but the reason you take it is the absorption when you get low. But that is going to be it for this episode, so I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.